Hey everybody, welcome to Vintage West Coast Vintage Computer Fair. Guy's getting ready to start his talk now on the history of hypertext and other stuff. They're recording it luckily here, so I can walk around and catch it later. But I talked to him briefly before he started. He's an interesting guy, so look forward to catching that. The talks are gonna be on their YouTube channel supposedly, so please look out for that. I will certainly be doing that because I'm gonna miss a bunch of the talks. This is the Vintage Computer History Museum in Mountain View, surrounded by all this Silicon Valley stuff here. This used to be the headquarters of Silicon Graphics, back when they were a powerhouse selling $2 million computers that I used to play VR stuff at SIGGRAPH back in '95. They were a super powerhouse for high-end Unix workstations and rendering machines. A lot of the early Pixar stuff and stuff like T2 and things like that were done on Silicon Graphics machines for liquid metal, all that kind of stuff. So there's a ton of history just in this building alone of all the technology from Silicon Graphics. And sad they went under, but they just couldn't keep up with lower cost Windows machines running Softimage and Lightwave and things like that to outcompete very expensive Unix workstations. So anyway, this is their former headquarters. Now it's a museum. And the festival started many years ago, and I keep forgetting to come. Luckily, one of my friends reminded me last night on email. I went, oh shit, I almost missed it. So here I am, and there's signal, so I'm able to walk around live. So let's go see what we got here.
Yes. Isn't it? I mean, first of all, I restored this.
Crazy old computers.
This is the original too?
I've never even heard of this one, the Visara. Some more info stuff. Looks like there's a private event over there. There's Rabbit Hole Computing.
The IDE implementation is the like rigid hardware integration is quite immature, but it does work.
Zulu IDE.
It's not where we want to be.
All right. Of course, you got vintage books. Can't have computers without vintage books. Programming Windows. Fix your own PC, I remember those. PC Power. Old HP calculator books.
If I had time, I'd fix it. I haven't had time to fix it. That's the way it is.
Some zip disks there, that's cool.
I take
I still have the zip drive on my old Emacs too. It's an old Mac user guides. I have one of those at least somewhere, a couple of these. I actually had that 15 display too, multiple scan 15 display. Mac OS books, Quicker QuickTime, Apple Script, HyperCard. How to solve a bad computer. There's a book on the Y2K, Mac OS Secrets. Those are always good books. Run Windows on your Mac as parallels. Old version of Mac Office from Microsoft. Here's an overall shot of the museum. Beautiful building. It's like a miniature version of the Los Angeles Convention Center. Lots of light, lots of windows everywhere, struts. Very modern looking. Here's a little history on the emoji, in case you wanted to learn. That's where emoji comes from. It's like pioneers of the emoji. So there's the main lobby, the front desk. Some artwork in the front. There's a cafe down there, and then a bunch of people showing their wares in the hallways here. Downstairs is the pt.1 where you can play the original Space War from 1962, which is completely bonkers. And often the programmer is here. This looks like paraphernalia for the club, or the organization. So here's the schedule for today. I already missed the lunar lander presentation by Scott Swayze. Now Sean Haas is doing his speech. That's what I want to see, the David Grealish one on Lisa. But they said he's got a plane problem, so he'll be here tomorrow. So I'll be here for that. That's at 1 o'clock today, but moved to tomorrow. And there's a guy doing how to read and use digital circuits, digital electronics. And there's a Friday night social. But oops, most of it is. A lot of people bring in their personal stuff here to show. Sorry, my little badge thing fell off. I had to pick it up. They have like it's like souvenir badges for the different shows. T-shirts. This is the new logo this year. Here's the program guide. Got patches and stickers and another shot of a t-shirt for this year. Here's the program guide. All right, let's see what else we got in the hallway here.
Over here.
Some video game shirts. A CPM shirt. Ultima 4, Karateka. That's a classic Karateka shot there. Prince of Persia. Pretty cool. $25 for a shirt. Old cell phones. Wow, some really old stuff in here. Some of these I've never seen in person. It's like an old deck terminal we had at work. Sorry guys, this is already sold. Already sold. Mr. Chance. Wow, look at that. The Macintosh Portable. It has the giant trackball inside of it. I played with one of those once. Record players. Printers.
They're all kind of because it's an ancient Rodine. and the only thing you can format it on is a free. You can format it on the lease by way of them literally having copy commands off of a free. Yeah. And then send those same commands at the right time. But the client takes too long with it. Because, it's just a read.
Okay. Macintosh books, other stuff. And Robo Sapien, that's funny. I'd see those for a while. XL floppy disks. These are the huge ones, so you could use this on a Fairlight, original Fairlight. Looks like looks like an 8088, but not quite. It's somewhere in that ballpark. Doesn't have the clacky key though. It's not. Actually, it is a little bit. Yeah, it is clacky key. Case for something. Old computers, terminals, and such. They're blocking that private event over there. There's some old. Oh, look at this thing. Hazelton. Machine there. It's Hazelton 1500. Crazy shit. Old TV. Classic video games. Commodore disk drives. Prototype microcomputer. There's a zip drive down there. Wow. Old ass oscilloscope. Beat to hell. Apple IIe, look at that. Only $100. My friend had one forever. He sold it to his neighbor. Should have kept it. Look at this guy. Oh shit. There's a full Apple II set down there. Apple II Plus. Old TVs. Really old TVs. Wow, some old Ataris. That's great, man. Which one is this? Yeah. Old. Printers, monitors, stuff in cases, disk drives, really old printers. Oh, I had one of these. I still have it in storage, I think. Image Writer 1. Classic. Had it back in '85. Apple with a cover. Apple II Plus with a big monitor. That's cool. Apple II C with 2 disk drives. So, 302 vintage. Wow, look at that thing. Crazy. More old stuff. Wow, look at this thing. That's wild. Lithium central processor. Punch card deal. Crazy old CRT. Stuff's way before my time. I don't know what half this stuff is. This is truly vintage. All that classic yellowing of the plastic. Let's see what's in here. I have one of these, a boxed Mac. A little bag. Full travel kit. This is their some portable Mac. Okay, go ahead. No problem. Mac SE. Forgot spare parts. Okay. Wow, look at this thing. Same. This case is so yellowed. iMac. We had one of these when I was a kid, an old Pong game for your TV. Black and white, too. Got some system boards here. It's like a boxed hard drive, 200 gigs. Shrink wrapped. That looks like an 8088 right there. G4 Mac, I have one of those. Some old laptops. Oh, this is for David Surchek. He's going on another tape recorder. I got one right here. VCR, printer. Pardon me. Small Mac with floating toasters on it. My PowerBook. There's original iMac with the flavors. With Bondi Blue. This is the old Bondi Blue color. With the mouse everybody hated, the round mouse. It's already sold. PowerBook G3. I have one of these, PowerBook 170. This one's in good shape. Hard finding batteries for these things. Microsoft tutorial. How is this thing? A Russian keyboard. Wow, look at that. 2GS. An old Vic 20. It's hilarious. Lots of classic Macs. Celeron processor. Extended keyboard. Oh, here it is. Classic. We're in the Silicon Graphics old building, and they're selling Octanes and Octane 2s. And a fuel. I've never seen a fuel before. Which is this guy? Anything will focus, probably won't focus on that. Yeah, old SGI stuff, just before they went belly up. Under a Killing Moon, remember that video-based game?
In the big room. In the big room over there. On 70s, so much money. In the room.
Or Minimax. So it's got the old hard drive below it, ancient tiny hard drive. Actually, I had my original Mac after the 128K is a plus. I used it for college. No hard drive, just floppies. So Radio Shack thingy. Big printer. Look at these, man, there's an old Lisa. I don't think I've ever seen a Lisa in person. They got a whole bunch of them here. It's crazy. It's the old Lisa keyboard. Just as bad as the 128K keyboard. This is RJ11 connector. Well, actually, no, this is a 1/4-inch connector. Look at that. It's hilarious. This is all gutted. You can see inside of it. Still have that mouse. Original mouse, the DB9 mouse. It was on the 128K. Helios 2. Oh. There's more. Fox. Prototyping board there. That's a 2E with a different color scheme. I saw that one before. Usually this is in color. All kinds of white power bucks. CD-ROMs here. Oh. Apple G4 tower. Clone, PC clone towers. Ah, look at this. Man, you don't see these at all anymore. This is the one aimed at the school groups. This is designed on the Newton OS. It's hilarious. I don't see these ever anymore. It runs Newton OS, so it's low cost for kids. And clamshell, easy to protect and easy to transport. It's hilarious. Well, second graphics monitor. They probably charge top dollar for this, even though it's just a monitor. Power User Pro. I had some of that stuff. The CD-ROM. It's a G4 iMac. Oh, just friends that love seeing all the vintage stuff. So it's a history
I
thing.
just wanted, I didn't know what you were doing, but the top monitor is not with that.
Oh, it's not just for display?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I didn't know if you wanted
No problem.
to know the whole.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah, it's good to know.
That's not for display, it's for sale, but it doesn't belong to.
It's
the
not
same
part of it.
person, and that's
Oh,
why
I see.
got
Okay.
that confused.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Thanks for clearing that up. Yeah, because I'm just grabbing a bunch of history here. I used to play with a bunch of these when I was a kid, so it's like memory lane here. Well, inside, yeah, but not outside.
But don't take my picture.
I'm not.
because It will break.
No, please. I
Don't make
don't put
that.
myself on camera either, so don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. This is just for historic and hysteric purposes.
Robot magazine, I have 16 robot magazines.
I've never seen Robot Magazine.
Yeah, $1 each.
I like robots, but I never got into them
Neither
that
of
much.
you would.
They built one in my high school. They bought a robot kit way back in 1985. My high school put one together. I never got to see what they did. It was electronics class did it.
Well, pretty soon you'll be seeing people being married to robots.
Well, exactly. In Japan, they already have, love robots, to put it nicely. Look at that old phone. You got an old phone
Back
here.
to the old days.
Yeah. Although it is nice to have technology to help you out, better medical care, all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, you just gotta trust the medical people.
Wow, the old Casio TV. Portable TVs. This robotics modem, frequency counter.
Is this the kind of camera that they use when people go into a place, like, they'll go into Goodwill and then they'll take pictures of things that are around? Or is
Oh, I mean,
that-
this is just an iPhone on a gimbal. This is nothing fancy.
Oh.
Yeah, this is.
I was wondering what kind of camera.
No, it's just just a phone bolted to a gimbal. So,
I see.
real basic stuff. Oh, I missed the iMac. Eyesight may be broken. Well, that's nice. How'd you break the camera? Commodore. Well, Commodore 64 is here. I should pick one of those up at some point because I never had one before. Just had emulators. There's a 3D printer. Big row of stuff. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So what's down here? I think this is a private event down here.
That's pretty cool. I might have got one of those.
Wow.
Windows 95, but Windows 95.
Wow. It's cool stuff.
Yeah. The machine on the end I've had since 1978.
Oh wow. What is it doing right now? What's the routine?
It's running a basic program
Yes, Brian.
that's communicating with sound card registers to make the sound, and it's just doing a sine wave tabbing of the text.
Okay. That's cool, yeah.
Just using, because it's just process technology is so basic.
Does the distance of the wave match the pitch, or is it just arbitrary?
Well, I have a table that equates the sound to a particular position. So I'm just using a data table just to make life easy. So it's just going through a loop. It goes through values of 0 to 6.28
Okay.
to do the sign for the sign control of the tab, and then the output is the frequency register value. And it's just a table at the bottom that's
Oh, okay.
making the relationship. That was the easiest way to synchronize the two.
Oh, that's cool.
Probably could have made an equation eventually to figure it out. But
Yeah. How old is this again? What's the?
this guy is from the. I bought this in '78, so
Okay.
it was a kit probably built in '77. I bought it from someone who else built it.
Nice.
But they came out in '76.
Oh wow. That's what the board looks like.
So in the beginning there was the Altair,
Yeah, yeah.
the inside, which is what's over there, and then there was processor technology.
So this is just after the Altair.
This is very similar, yet just a little bit beyond it.
Okay. Because the Altair, they eventually bolted stuff on to make it more usable, right?
Yeah, they tweaked on it a little.
Because before it's just like hitting switches and registers and.
Yeah, so the inside has the front panel like that too. But
Wow.
Lee Fellenstein, who's actually speaking here this weekend, he's the one that designed these.
Oh, okay.
And so this is the first time that they're integrated. You get the
Yeah.
keyboard and everything, all video, everything all built into one package. But it has the S100 card expansion, so you can add all these S100 cards.
It's like a game of, it's like a scramble here or something like that. One of those games.
It's called Target. It's shooting
Target.
spaceships.
Yeah.
And it's just running in demo mode right now.
What year is that, you think?
The game?
Yeah.
It's original to the Sol. They were
Oh, it is?
It was written for the Sol originally.
Oh, so 76?
Yeah, 76,
Wow.
77.
Because it looks like Apple II, which is
Well, it was
a bit
probably,
later. Yeah.
they more likely adapted it or
Yeah.
borrowed it.
There's a prototyping thing for it.
This is a 8080 trainer. So back in the day, this is what we had to use to learn how to program, assembly program 8080 processor. Now they've obviously made other processors
Sure,
doing the
yeah.
same thing, but this is how we do it. I just happen to have a logic analyzer hooked up to it to just watch it.
That's wild. Cool, thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's good.
No problem.
There's the 8080 itself. There's Lunar Lander right here.
That's from
Nice.
the Apple Store.
It's a recreation of Lunar Lander. That's pretty good. See if it crashes properly and breaks up. Just resets. That's too bad.
And even more fortunate, very lucky, managed to find working. Well, the hard drive itself anyway did, but everything else electronic was working. And so now I've got a compact flash in here. But
Oh,
I have. So this is the 700C. This is the 750M. The M standing for monochrome, C standing for color. This is the successor to this one, and the only difference between these two, is they replace the proprietary expansion port over here with PCMCIA. That's it. That's the only difference, really. Everything else is the same. But it uses microchannel. These two. These are PS2s. Well, this is an ESDI hard drive in here, in this caddy, but the drive is dead.
Atari
Well,
computer.
so 2 times we actually just tested
we had those
earlier this
librettos at
morning
work.
with
Libretto
his-
70s.
He's been working on
This is a
a
50.
SD ESDI.
Guys try to do all their
We
work
just
on the
tested it
libretto.
on this machine earlier this
Painfully
morning to
small.
make sure it would work on the 720, and it does. So he's gonna reach out to. So he's gonna reach out to me when he's ready to start beta testing, and we're gonna use this.
All right, let's see what's in here. Oh, the room of insanity. This is Mac replica, giant Mac replica. It's the Big Mac. Give me an idea of scale. Here's my hand for scale. It's huge. Actually hit the buttons. Giant mouse. Does it actually work? Wow, the mouse actually tracks. Big old mouse. Hopefully someone's not spreading COVID here. And another classic next to it. God, old Sony video cameras too, look at that. Keith's Mac Hacks. So here's a Lisa operating. I've never seen a Lisa turned on before. Yeah, worked just like an old Mac Plus. Read this stuff later. I don't have time to read it all now. Macintosh 2. Look at all those cards. I have a 2 and I have a 2FX. Which is fancy one they had. The coprocessor in it.
Yeah. You'd be surprised. I gave away over 60 of those discs last year. Definitely not 60 Pippin owners in the Bay Area. So,
An actual Pippin. Look at that. The failed Bondi product with Apple.
which one of these cards is going to be this one? Yeah.
Pippin Kickstart disc.
One on a card. And there's four of them. So, Bill's monster in the box.
Pete. It's funny wing. Microsoft later had a controller that kind of looked like this for PC. That is so cool. Apple Interactive Television Box. Never saw that before. There's a better shot of the Pippin text. And we got some furries here, furry action.
Parts on there because a bunch of those missing too.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm willing to take whatever pictures.
That might
You need me to, like, ask me soon because I'm going to put this back in the store. And I don't want to take it back off my desk because it weighs 50 minutes.
I'll catch you before we leave then.
A quick question. How many functional Pippins do you think are in the world?
Function. Based on...
Because this one looks pristine, so...
Based on... That one doesn't even belong to me. Based on the frequency with which I see them pop up on eBay and
Yeah.
Yahoo Auctions Japan, probably 4 digits worth.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Was it related to the MS Towns?
FM Town.
FM Town, sorry.
Related? No.
No, okay.
No, this was the story of the Pippin. Like, people like to attribute it to Apple, but
Yeah.
Apple was just kind of
They just slapped their name on it? Yeah.
Peripherally involved. What happened actually was Bondi wanted to make a games console. They were a toy company, like in the early 90s, but they're not a software company, and they didn't have any experience in developing a platform.
I see,
operating
okay.
system or anything. So, because the Mac was so popular in Japan, because it was essentially
Yeah,
the
it was
first operating
huge.
system that could support Japanese characters,
Yeah.
katakana, hiragana,
Sure,
and
sure.
everything.
Yeah.
Bondi approached Apple and like, hey, let's partner, let's build a platform together. And Apple was not interested. They're like, no, go away. And Bondi wouldn't let it go. They just kept bothering them. And Apple finally like, all right, fine, but we reserve the right to license this to other parties.
Yeah.
And so they built this Pippin platform.
Okay.
Which was the idea was they would license it to Bondi.
I
Apple
see.
Media.
I didn't know about that part.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's not Apple's
Did it ever?
video game
Anyone ever
system.
do anything with it?
Actually,
Really?
so Bondi was the first licensee, and they did
Yeah.
a couple of units. They did the Atmark, which
Okay.
is they did the At-World, which is that but black,
Okay.
but not just the US version.
Okay.
And then Cat Media in Europe in '97 decided they were going to license that. And the idea was it was a media player. And eventually, I think they got repurposed and retold to be used as kiosks
Okay.
for shopping.
Right.
And they had an arm in Canada, Arborescence Group, and so
Okay.
they were another licensee
Wow.
that used them for similar purposes.
But those other ones are extremely rare.
Those are very rare.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
So this is the most common iteration
That's
of
the
it?
most common one. If you find the
Okay.
right ones, those are the most common.
Okay.
Yeah. And the project, I think, didn't even last like a year and a half before Steve Jobs came back and just shut the whole thing down.
I think I heard about it after it was dead. I mean, it
Yeah,
was just...
I mean, well, it never lost Apple any money,
Yeah.
but it also wasn't making them any money.
Right.
Either. So it's like Steve Jobs was like, let's focus on things that are going to bring us back to profitability and just get rid of these side projects that aren't helping us.
Well, 'cause I remember when they were doing like game sprockets and stuff, they weren't supporting games much anyway, even on the Mac.
No.
So it's
Well,
like-
they kept going through Games Evangelist.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know.
And it's funny too, because like Dark Forces and Doom and all this look better on the Mac.
Right, right. Well, that was like in the early days.
And it sounded better. It had
When
real
they had
audio.
The games kitchens, they would have developers come over and
Yeah.
they would all meet each other and figure out, these different tricks and things. Aaron Giles, I think, was at one of those.
Okay.
Alex Rosenberg was at one of those. Doug Browns, who did the Doom port, was at
Okay.
those things. And they would just all swap stories and swap
Yeah.
knowledge, and that's
Like Descent on the Mac was great because it had like real music
Yeah.
on a CD and it looked better
Yep.
and
MacPlay in general, they were hot
Yeah.
shots over there. Yeah.
cool. And this I've never seen before. Was that really rare?
This is the set-top box that Apple never shipped to consumers.
Okay.
But they did a pilot program with Disneyland and British Telecom.
Okay.
where The idea was the cable companies would invest in these and they would be in homes and would connect not to Ethernet. But
So it's in
to
hotel
T-Mobile.
rooms at Disneyland?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was a little too ahead of its time because anyone that was going to invest in this project also had to make a $300,000 investment not only in the networking gear but in the Oracle server that was providing
Oh, shit.
the back end for all of this, and they could see that cable internet.
Wait, so
was
Apple couldn't even make a
providing-
server back then to support it? That's
Nope.
hilarious.
They did this part, the client.
right.
The back end, that was all.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, the cable companies balked at that. It's like, no, we're going to do internet.
Because even OS 10 server died like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that.
Something like that,
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Now, because it's so similar to the retail one, there was like, just have this little app.
Yeah. Because last time I was working at Apple, I was doing QA stuff.
Oh, cool.
And I saw them wheel those servers around on carts. And I go, oh, there are some servers that you never see. That's good stuff. Thanks, man. Thank you. So that was Keith's Mac hacks. That was good stuff. Got more releases here, looks like. Mac SE, IBM PS2. Hello. Is this one of the prototypes, or what is that? Oh, wow. Oh, Steve Jobs had this in his office. This is the Lisa? Oh, the WAS, the 2GS WAS? Oh, okay.
My husband knows way more of the history and the whole story behind it. It's also right here.
And this, yeah. Because you used to have one at Fry's Electronics on display. Okay. Yeah. That's cool. Thank you. Macworld with Steve Jobs. Man, how is it? Oh, that's Bill Gates. Oh, wow. Yeah, I went back to work at Apple right after Steve died. So they had a huge funeral for him on Infinite Loop and all that stuff. It was kind of crazy. Like a lot of celebrity musicians came to play. Yeah, it was a big deal. So, I worked there many times as a contractor. So I was there at the company store when it was the only store. And then that was back when Spindler was there. And we had bomb threats. They evacuate the building all the time because people were pissed at them. And then I went back to do QA stuff for Aperture. And then when they killed Aperture, I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll go somewhere else. But I got an IT position there doing back-of-house support for Apple stores worldwide. And that was pretty fun. I had crazy hours because I had to support Europe. So I had to get up like 3 a.m. But it was fun. And I get to leave and all my coworkers are still there and I'm going home to sleep. It's kind of fun. Yeah, but the problem there is it's a great place to work, but they love contractors and hate employees. So you basically really hard to get a permanent position there. And that's why people generally don't leave unless you have to, because it's really hard to get back in. So contractor, you get 2 years max, gotta look for something else. But while you're inside, you can look at all the internal stuff, talk to hiring managers, and if you're decent enough, jump around and get another job, which I did a few times. And then once you're out of the system, it's really hard to get back in there. So, yeah, they love contractors. Exactly. Yeah, you spend a part of your time at work looking for another job. Yeah, it's like they know that because you have direct access to every person inside of Apple with that database. I even found like Dr. Dre in there. I found Trent Reznor in there. I found the guy who did the Beats headphones with Dre. I forgot his name. And I found one other musician in there in the directory by the real name. Yeah, and so that's the kind of funny thing. But they had like parties all the time and spent endless money. And in the media group, we had the guy giving us like free food trucks, free like they'll come in one day and make custom ice cream tacos for us. They just spent money like crazy.
I guess if you have one, it's good to spend it on your own.
Well, especially the media group because we're the video, the photo, and the music group. We're all in the same complex by Valco for a while. I don't know if they're still there. Now they put the spaceship. They probably all moved there. But back for a while, we're at Valco, and so like one guy took me into the music studio once. You would never know it's there. It's just you walk by these hallways and there's big offices and stuff. He said, "Check this out." We went there and it was like this multi-million-dollar studio you would find at some big company just does music, and it was like a massive mixing board, various vocal rooms, dead rooms, all the reflective surfaces you would imagine in a high-tech thing with stone, wood, foam, all these kind of bass traps and stuff. It was the craziest thing ever. And it's right inside that building nobody knows about. It was all for the Logic team and for the guys recording all the sounds for the OS. It was done in-house. In fact, one of the guys I met several times, he played with, what is her name? You know that song Goodbye to You from the 80s? What is her name? Her name sounds a lot like another famous singer, but it's Goodbye to You. And the guitarist is the Apple sound guy. So I talked to him a little bit about the band. Still looks the same, blonde hair, tall, skinny guy. Scandal, that's it, yeah. So Smythe, I think Patty Smythe, he was the singer in the band. And so if you watch the video, Goodbye to You, he's the guitar player in the video. That's the Apple sound guy. I don't know if he's still there. But I used to go up to him and ask him, say, hey, sorry to bug you about another question about the scandal, because he's been in the industry. But he's actually recording, like when you hear like those, the phone call rings that are guitar riffs, he probably recorded it. That kind of stuff. It was all in-house. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it's like Disneyland. It was really fun to work there. But again, it's hard to stay there because they love contractors and you're expendable. They want fresh meat. Yeah. It is and it isn't. I mean, because then you have no real loyalty, And although I busted my ass doing a bunch of stuff there, had fun, I wanted to stay. All bosses told me, if I had headcount, you would be here. But I legally can't keep you. We have contractor. No slots open. And none of my coworkers was leaving. So there's no slot to fall into. Yeah, so I mean, so they got to train a new guy to do what I was doing. I was like a liaison for the Camera Raw group, the Camera Software group, and some OS stuff. And no one was talking that much except in meetings. But sometimes I would find something and I go, did you know about this? No, I didn't know about that. Did you know about this? So I'm like the go-to guy running around like an idiot, being like, it's like SneakerNet, right? I'm talking to everybody. And so I did a lot of really valuable stuff there, and my boss kept telling me that. So can you hire me? I mean, So I guess not that valuable. So, yeah. But it was fun. So I have nothing really negative to say about it. And I would go there in a heartbeat if I could. But we'll see. One of these days I'll go back. But the Spindler times were tough because he was hurting the company. The share price was down to like $7 a share. And I thought they were going to die. But I should have bought Apple stock back then because it was so dirt cheap. I'd be like retired now. So, hey, nice talking to you. This is our auction. We got all the Apple Watches. I've never even seen this model. This is crazy. We'll grab a card here. It's Apple One. So they had a similar one to this at Fry's Electronics for a while on display. Got the old Apple stickers. Prodigy. Wow. I've seen Prodigy forever. You guys know your biggest customer is Howard Stern for a while. He used to talk about Prodigy all the time on his show.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. You go back and listen to all episodes. He loved Prodigy. They had like chat rooms on there. He was get all kinds of chicks on there and it's good stuff. Yeah. Man, it's just endless. It's a broken 2C. Oh, there's a car mouse. It's an old ball mouse. It's 2GS. That's the Woz edition. See Woz right there? Oh, Wozniak is still tied to the company one way or another. I know that music. Yeah, the old Descent. This is the 25th anniversary Mac they had as Albert's computer on the Batman movie. And don't see them much anymore. I think Roger Ebert owned one. He was a proud owner of an anniversary Mac. Oh, look at the video.
Will fall into the rabbit hole and spend a lot of time on it.
Yeah, it's they can certainly do that.
Yeah,
They can certainly do that, especially if it's fun.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's more fun than regular work. Oh, that's great. Yeah, thanks for doing it.
Good. Hans Spree? Grease Weasel? These are great names. Cryoflux. Wow, another pet. Never saw a pet in person. It has a cassette interface. Look at that keyboard. Holy smokes. All of them have these modern add-ons now. Cassette interface, all those old clicky joysticks with the leaf switches inside. Super Pet. External floppy disk. I think it's huge, almost as big as a computer. Yeah, Commodore 64. Color printer. VIC 1520. Printer plotter. And some paint, some primitive paint programs on the Commodore 64. Commodore Artist. Got a touchpad, that's interesting. Graphics tablet. Wow, look at those graphics. There's a nice graphics pad. Suncom. There's a walk-on stylus on it. That's funny. Someone's got the meme on there. What's that meme again? I always forget the name of that meme.
I don't remember that meme, but
It's like a version of Troll Face, but it's It's like the sad guy. They did it for Andrew Tate when he had the sad photo of him out of prison.
Right.
He looked just like that.
There you go. Too many memes to keep.
I know. It's funny. It's funny that someone drew it though. I think that's hilarious.
It's actually my co-exhibitor. I was like, we should put up a meme, and this is what he chose.
That's great. He did an awesome job on it.
Yeah.
Let me get another shot of that. Wow, look at that. Garfield on a little portable Commodore computer. And that's other Commodores. So many Commodores. It's crazy. Hey, Viral, what's up? Sorry, I don't often see the chat because it comes by so quick. Having fun at this super nerd West Coast vintage computer fair. Ironically housed in the old Silicon Graphics headquarters building that's long, long defunct and became a museum. So much improved graphics on the Amiga, of course. I wonder if anyone has a video toaster here. Look, the card actually sticks out of that one. Plain old ads on the TV up there.
5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we're going to show the documentary by David Grealish before Macintosh in Appalachia.
Ooh.
In 5 minutes, we'll be showing his documentary. Unfortunately, he can't be here in person. He'll be here tomorrow. To talk to you. So in 5 minutes, we're going to show the documentary before Macintosh to Appalachia by David Grealish.
There you go. Some Apple Cube playing Quake. Don't see too many of those cubes. We have the famous Amiga bouncing ball in color. You know if anyone has a video toaster around here for the Amiga? Okay. Thank you.
That's a 4,000. That's this one right here. It's a lot slower. If you want to see what they quit, hold the right button and go speed, slow, and then focus this info again. Speed. Yeah.
Quick question. You guys have any video toasters set up around here?
I do not. No, unfortunately.
I always wanted to see one in person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you own one?
I do not
You
own
don't?
a
Okay.
toaster. The only machine I have that it would work in doesn't work currently.
Is that a 1000 or is
That's
that
a 4000.
4000? I thought it worked in the 1000, right?
Well, the 1000 had no real expansion.
It didn't? Okay. Because I thought Babylon 5 was partly rendered on a 500 and a 1000 using the video toaster.
I don't recall if there's an external type video toaster, but
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
There was
No plug into it.
card slots in that.
Could they have done it over like a parallel port maybe? Or
Maybe.
Okay.
Possibly.
is there any kind of other bus port on the back,
There's
like
an
system
there's
bus?
an expansion bus on the side.
There is, okay. So maybe they could have done it that
they
way?
could have done it that way.
I think that's how they did it, because I could have sworn they said they started with a network of Amiga 500s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With a primitive video toaster, and then by the next season they went to like the 1000, 4000, whatever,
Right.
and eventually went to PCs because Lightwave was on the PC.
I've not seen a video toaster that works externally before.
Really? Okay.
But I mean, they might.
It's possible because they did mention 500.
But
So
by the time that they were becoming super popular,
Yeah.
those were out, and so everybody was getting the cards or whatever. you
Okay.
know, anyway. So I don't know about the video toaster on the 1000, like how it looked or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm sure it probably existed.
was the 500 pretty good compared to a 1000, or was it way lower?
The 500 and the 1000 are essentially the same.
The same. Okay.
I think the 1000 beats it out just a teensy bit.
Okay.
But it's the same processor, the same general architecture.
Right.
The 500 has some improvements as well over the 1000. Like, this is a pretty heavily modified one.
Yeah.
So it's got, over 14 megs of RAM. And, runs at 28 megahertz.
Yeah.
But
what was the original?
the original would have had 256K of RAM.
Okay.
And then you could add another 256K with the forward in here.
What was the speed originally?
7 megahertz.
Okay, so was it a 68,000?
It was a 68,000.
Okay, so like a Mac
and
Plus.
you could slightly
Yeah, okay.
upgrade that performance by putting
Right.
a 68010 in, which
Okay.
is code compatible, but slightly more efficient. And so that would improve it a little bit. But
What's the processor in the 4000?
the 4000 is a 68040 or the 30.
Okay,
They
so
had like a processor card
Okay.
where you could put in different ones, but that one has a 040.
So it's like a Quadra, Mac Quadra,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I used to have a 840 AV Quadra.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fucking awesome machine.
Right. Hell yeah.
I mean, the video was primitive. It's 320 by 240.
Yeah.
Even on the best hardware, because you had to capture the disc.
Yeah.
There was no video cache. So like I'm shooting good quality videos, but small. You know,
Right.
but good enough to do CD-ROMs back then.
Oh yeah.
But then I finally got other stuff, and I just left it in the dust. You know.
Right.
But cool stuff. Nice to see these. So this is called, is it Workbench? What's the desktop called?
Workbench.
Workbench,
yeah,
right? Okay.
Yeah. I think eventually they started calling it Amiga OS.
Okay. Trying to compete with Apple.
Yeah. But it was Workbench.
When did it officially die? The whole line.
Like Commodore went out of business in 94, 95.
94. Okay.
And then Escom bought them.
Okay.
So they kept selling them.
Right.
Like I believe this mouse here is a Escom Amiga mouse.
Yeah.
And, but the quality of stuff went down, I think, a little bit when they took over. And then
Did they have to make their own mouse and joystick, or were they compatible with third-party stuff?
compatible with Commodore, Atari.
Oh, okay, so the
type
9-pin connector?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same deal.
Okay.
The keyboard's a different story. Like,
Right.
Even between the models.
What was the keyboard
keyboards don't
connector?
work.
What was it?
So for the 1000, it's like kind of like the same as like a Mac, where it's like the RJ.
RJ11?
Kind of like a phone-looking connector.
Yeah, RJ11. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tiny one, right? Not the
exactly.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Mac Plus. Yeah. That's like 128K. My Mac 128K has the RJ11. Oh yeah, look at that.
But then they didn't do that with any.
And then DEC had the weird one where it's like an offset,
Oh yeah.
where the pins on the side and not the center.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. The good old days.
My favorite machine.
Bought one of these recently and restored it.
Oh,
My
nice.
first Amiga.
Very cool.
This year is the year that I
Would they consider best at games, or what would most people use them for?
I think graphics was
Graphics?
probably
Like paint programs?
Graphics and games were their main. Point.
But without Toaster, you didn't have much 3D software, right?
No, I mean you could there was like 3D was never the Amiga's strong suit. For,
Well, they had the chip though to do those 3D demos, right? Like the bouncing ball thingy.
It does. And
What's it called?
demo scenes and things.
Yeah, because that.
it could do like somewhat 3D, but like when it came to like 3D gaming and stuff,
Right,
like that's
right.
kind of what killed the Amiga.
Sure,
like
sure.
Doom and
Oh yeah.
all that. You couldn't handle it.
Because there are no expansion cards to handle it.
One problem with Commodore and Amiga where like they just kind of let it languish without really doing any major push towards improving the
Right. There you go. Boing. That was it, right? Because Apple had a knockoff called Van Landingham. There you go. Now that's not pre-rendered. It's actually doing a sphere.
Yeah, it's doing it out on the spot. Yeah.
And it's still multitasking. Like you can
Right,
run other apps at the same time.
In the background?
So it's
Okay.
still work, yeah.
Okay, cool. The craziest multitasking demo I ever saw was on the Next Cube, where the guy had like 20 things going at once. There was no glitches at all. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But they're like, 15 grand or whatever they were or something like that.
Right.
My math professors at UC Santa Cruz had a Next Cube in his office. So he had money.
This thing is so cool. I love this.
Oh, the Parcero is
They're
great.
so awesome.
Yes. Do you have one for
yeah,
yours?
I did. I
Yeah.
got it.
It's a
beautiful.
must get.
It's
What's
like,
that?
Everything about it is awesome.
What does that do?
It plugs into the expansion port, and it provides a hard drive
Oh, okay.
emulation.
Oh, nice.
It also can boot the machine. So usually this.
Okay, so
this
like
era
a
of machine,
soft
you
boot
needed to
button.
boot it, it didn't have built-in ROM,
Oh, really?
so you needed to boot it
Oh, it's in the floppy.
with a floppy,
Okay.
and then swap it for something else. to
Oh,
continue with it.
yeah.
So it can provide that.
Interesting, yeah.
support. That's pretty cool.
Is that made recently or is that old? That expansion?
It's pretty
last few
recent.
years,
So there's a healthy
Yeah.
community keeping this stuff going.
And he's making more than just the Parcero now. So he's got like a memory module to max
He
out
has
the
an
memory.
accelerator.
And the
you can swap
accelerator.
out
Yeah.
So I've
swap
got
out the
that in
chip.
here right now.
Yeah, I got that too.
What do you guys think of UAE? Is there a better one out there if I want to emulate
What?
UAE, the emulator?
WinUAE is still the
That's it?
emulator to go for.
That's the only one? Okay.
Well, there's another one. There's like a Amiga Forever, I believe it's called.
Oh, yeah, but that's just a subset of it, right?
Yeah, because
Like games and stuff, or?
maybe. I've never actually used it.
Yeah, I haven't tried it.
But I've heard of it.
Okay.
And stuff like
Is
that.
this a tracker?
It's a music player.
Yeah.
It
Oh, look at that.
It's not like for actually like composing, but just to play that.
It's playing the
I've been trying to get a good tracker.
Playing the mod files, yeah.
working.
Does this one handle?
These are so amazing.
So it handles all the different formats: the mod, the S3M, and like 2 or 3 other formats of mod.
As long as like I have the underlying like some file formats would need like a specific driver.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but a bunch of the files will require more memory, I think, like more chip memory.
Right. Yeah.
So I've had that problem where I download stuff and then I can't play them.
Right.
So one mod that I really want to do is I want to build the replica rejuvenator card. Because with that you can bring it up to 2 megs.
That's what I got in here.
Oh, that's
but
amazing.
rather than going to 2, I went to 1 meg.
Okay.
Partially because I had the chip.
But 1 meg you can do without it, right? Like, can't
no,
the expansion here?
No, because
Oh,
it
because that
uses
doesn't give you chip RAM.
it does have chip RAM, but it doesn't have. It uses the old OCS Agnes where it's a 40
the
40
long
pin
one
dip
instead of
rather
the big
than
square one, yeah.
yes,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
there's no way to connect it. And even if you did it, would not the right number of pins, and so there's not really a way without the rejuvenator to get it above 512K.
I see.
Was all the software downward compatible from 4,000 all the way down, or did you have to?
Because there's the
fact that you can
anything after 68020 is like not code compatible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And sometimes with like it's backwards compatible. Like this 68040 can run 68,000.
Okay.
But not the other way around.
All the way around, yeah.
So did you build the rejuvenator yourself?
I did, yes,
Nice.
yes, and
How hard was the build?
it wasn't too bad.
I was looking at the bomb earlier today. and
The
it didn't seem bad.
assembly is really the hardest part of the whole rejuvenator thing because trying to get all those pins onto the pin
yeah,
headers
yeah,
and get it down.
And I was looking at the instructions. It's like, like it's really hard to find like the right length ones. So
Right.
they're like, well, you can put these spacers in
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
So
who did I get mine from? It was Samtech, I believe. I
They
got
sell the
the
right
pin
length ones?
headers from, and they got really good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I didn't
what about
actually.
the other
I
chips?
didn't
It's
even
like
need to
the-
buy them because Samtech does like you can get like a sample. And so I just did a
nice.
sample of 10, and it was more than I needed.
That's
and
funny.
Yeah. So that worked out.
That's fun.
It's funny about this thing started the whole tracker movement,
Oh yes.
but then now there's a bunch of hardware trackers out there for people who want to carry around gear,
Yeah.
but have a tracker experience
Right.
with the same slide. That they still do the top down, But some have modified, so now it slides left and right, so it's more like a DAW.
Yeah.
But it's still a tracker experience, and you load stuff kind of similarly. But you have buttons and more hardware control than just a mouse.
Right.
But it's people still love tracker stuff. It's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It keeps going.
yeah, it's pretty wild. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
absolutely.
Cobalt Cube. GameCube. Lots of cubes on this table. Look at this guy. Sirius 1. Victor 9000. Wow. Never seen these before. Crazy little screen. Apricot. Wow, look at this guy. Wide screen. The trackball and everything. Nice clamshell iBook. Pretty interesting stuff. A better mouse by then. Well, iPods. There's a Bondi Blue G3 Tower. Apple Cube.
Intel Maps that actually took after
It's a G4 Cube, so it's not a different color.
design cubes of the PowerPC Macs. Like the Mac Pro looks like the Power Mac G5. The Mac Pro
Blue Scuzzy.
the Apple G4.
This is some kind of a, this is one of the clones, looks like. Yeah, Power Computing. My friend had one of these back when Apple was doing clones, licensing clones. Crazy. Ah, SGI. Here we are. In a former SGI building. Silicon Graphics Iris 4D workstations. This would have been a killer demo back then. Now it's just basic. Twin Tower workstation. HP stuff.
But Ultrix doesn't like my drive young.
Sun Microsystems, Sun 3. Got the classic optical mouse for Sun with the grid on it. It's a metal tablet with a grid on it.
Where's your hard drive at, dude?
Got a bunch of these in the server room years and years ago. Usually the Sparks. Like wooden keyboard.
Okay.
Got the one board.
And I wrote 9,000 right on the card. So, for instance,
Pretty good replicas of the Apple One. Tetris.
this drops to
Lots of Tetris here. Tetris on an old Mac. This is on Apple II GS. Tetris on
not like in the black and white.
what are these Soviet PCs? Look at that.
Занимается сама как. Это ее ответственность, посмотреть, что именно ее. Иначе там решилось тогда. Обращение. Ага. Ну, то есть там еще какие-то находятся, Твое отдельно компания. Как называется 8, там отдельно. А я здесь пространство. Например, 6502, там все.
TRS-80. Wow. See those for a while.
Okay.
Wi-Fi for TRS-80.
Okay, I was going to say, I love that old school kind of DSA because that shows up on a lot of the.
I think it's MT3 profile.
Are they? Okay.
NEC computers. What's this guy? Oh. Now that's a computer. Now you know it's working. All the blinky lights. Open circuits. Free candy. Why not? Free candy van. That's funny.
You end up with situations where the market is just super segmented. Every single these have a whole bunch of like specialized cards for it. So you find
Computer Museum at System Source. Wow, look at this IBM. Holy smokes.
now look at
Back when computers were furniture. It's got classic IBM blue all over it. These Macs run Windows. Apple IIe running CPM. That's crazy. CX. Windows 2. Wow. Crazy. Performer running Windows 95. And I got a Mac Flower. I have one of these. Mac Flower running Windows XP. I'm gonna turn it off though. Oh, there we go. Windows XP. Sad Mac stickers there. Little crash, Sad Mac crashes. Little buttons. I remember these guided tours. So this is a 128K, it looks like I have. It's got the old RJ11 connector for the keyboard in the front. And it came with this guided tour for Macintosh floppy. These are in really good shape. You have the number pad you could add on. Before they had a proper number pad keyboard, you just had that. A little boxy mouse with the wheel, made with that ball. And bought, the mouse was DB9 connector in the back, not ADB. And then by the time the SEs came around, you had ADB connector. A totally different mouse. And there's the shell, and you can see all the signatures inside from the developers. I took mine apart once to do something, and I saw all the signatures inside the case. And it's looking for its floppy because there's no hard drive. Linking question mark. I love the stickers. Those are great. SE FDHD. So built in, I think it was a 20 meg hard drive. What was a standard hard drive back then? It was a 20 megs. The FDHD was 20, I thought. The 20 megs on the hard drive? I know it was really small, so. 20s and 40s? Okay, yeah, thanks. The clear case there. And I forgot, my 128K has the signatures inside. Plus does as well, right? SC, okay. 512, all those have it? Yep. Okay. A clear case on that one, running flying toasters. Screensaver. So we got NC30, Mac Classic with a SAT Mac on it. So because of work, and they ditched computers over the years, I have almost every one of these in storage. I could have my own table if I wanted to. I don't know if they all still work, but I have all these. Even the Mac 2s, the 2FX, 2CI, 2SI. There's a Classic 2. This one they have the boot key here on the top of the keyboard. This one is a slightly different version of it. And they rounded off the mouse to the egg. Color Classic. I had a friend who had one of these. It's quite slow, but it was color. We tried playing Spectre, the network tank game once on it, and he was frame by frame by frame. Color Classic.
I'll do better actually.
You guys all own these collectively, or you have
These are online, but
all yours?
they are heavily involved in helping me maintain.
Nice. I have, because I was just telling some friends online that I have all of these as well, plus all the 2s and stuff, because over the years at work, they're just ditching stuff, throwing them away. I go, I'll take them. So I have like one of everything, basically, except for a 512. Those are kind of rare. Is that the 120K and the 512 there on the end? Because they look the same, right? Oh, and upgraded it. Okay. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Because the outside looked different on a 512, didn't it? A little bit? Didn't the outside of 512 look a little bit different? It was an actual marker? Oh, it's only on the back. Okay, you can't tell from the front.
Yeah, so the serial code was on the front.
Okay.
So on the front, it's not the serial code. It's a 128K.
Okay.
On the back, 512K.
It's got the actual, yeah. So they had a different sticker and.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Nice, yeah. Yeah, it's fun to have them all. I never turn them on. I just have them in storage.
Yeah.
One of these days, I'll see if they still work.
You removed the batteries, right?
Probably.
Okay, double check.
Back then, it was just stuck in, right? It was a receptacle. You didn't have to cut wires.
For the others,
You have to cut them out.
we did encounter a couple that you have to cut out.
Okay.
For some of them, there was anything.
Okay.
But yeah, going, make sure they're not there.
That's a good idea, because that's the same problem with synthesizers. I have some old synths where the batteries leaked, and it fucked up the motherboard. And those are expensive to fix, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and those are horrible too, because they soldered those in. So you always had to cut those out. There was no not even a little, like, receptacle to slide it in there. You had to actually cut the damn thing out.
Yeah.
Such a stupid design. Cool stuff, thank you. Sorry? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I will. I love those stickers. Drop my stuff here. Get some Sad Mac stickers here. That's good stuff. Let's get a couple of these guys. There's a Happy Mac. There's a Sad Mac.
I have no idea why. Why not? But there's that Netflix, the company that does new cases, transparent custom cases. We actually have a Kickstarter for black series.
Yeah, I always love the Sad Mac. Cracks me up. Every time I see a Sad Mac, it's just. Have you seen that book, Sad Mac's Bombs and Disasters? It's a great book. Check it out. It's probably from like 20 years ago. It's really, really good. Yeah, me too. Yeah, but it's great because it gives you really good reasons why you get it, and some ways to avoid it if you can.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool as a tech or partial tech. It's also very useful. So, yeah, good stuff.
This one has the dip on it. I do have a lot. I have every Apple choice though, pretty much.
Alpha 2 Plus. There's Image Writer 2 down there.
1 o'clock. Come back in a few hours. I think everything will be cool.
Apple 2C Plus. How rare is this Apple 2C Plus? I've never seen one before.
Yeah, they're rare, but I wouldn't say like not super rare. They're just the platinum version, the fastest Apple II ever made.
Really?
Like
Faster than the 2GS?
And at least with the 8-bit.
Really?
But I think the clock speed, because they'd handicapped the 2GS
Right.
For some reason.
Oh, they did?
I don't know. Yeah, because they didn't want it to compete with the Mac.
They made it look more like the Mac. The OS looks more Mac-like.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
But yeah, apparently this is the king of all the Apple IIs.
Really?
But yeah.
When did they stop selling these? I've never seen them.
Good question. I have it written down. I have little things I'm going to print out.
Cool.
On this image writer, little tags.
Yeah, I have an Image Writer 1. That's a 2.
Yeah, exactly. This is the first version of the 2 that came with the 2C, so it's that.
Oh, really?
Color,
Okay.
and it doesn't have the branding on it.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'll have this all up and running soon.
Nice. Did 2 Plus have a hard drive in it?
No.
So they still didn't add that, huh?
The only big change is the 3.5 inch.
Oh, okay.
Inside.
Nice.
And then like the design, with the platinum.
Because I had friends that had all the extra boards for their 2E, like the modem, the graphics card, the monitor driver, the hard drive. It's like a 5 meg hard drive on a card or something like that. It's just stupid stuff. Like it's just, yeah. These double disc drives, the old classic way. Same copy discs. Apple II. It's a Bell and Howell Apple II. Crazy. Wow, they actually had a slot in the back.
What is this beastie?
That's the weird one. I just literally got in the mail yesterday. I've been looking for one for years. It's called ClearStar. It's the company. They did another co-branding from House.
Plus, a tiny printer on the top.
Basically another version of the Bell and Howell one. It's called the Apple II Plus.
But what is this interface box?
That's the
Come back to that. 2C. These old pivot monitors are funny. You can pivot internally in the case. 2GS with an old case. Wow. Double disk drives, Apple Bose speakers, this is the old Apple II style joystick, a little wonky joystick with the buttons. And that's the Apple IIgs I'm familiar with. That's the WAS. It's crazy stuff.
Such a big event to put these together, to plug all these things into different things, get the program running. It was like a big ordeal, but I haven't found any that have so I was trying to figure out what would be a good example of this if I had one together myself. And on a totally different video I was watching, it's Apple II Forever, the one that Apple made, it turns out, it is exactly what this what capable of doing. It's a slide, it's pictures that you put in a slide where it dissolved and did animations, quotes and audio. So I think I could recreate that on an Apple II and be super fun. Maybe next year.
That'd be pretty neat. So you basically would have two. Is that a standard connector for projectors?
There's several of them. So I guess if you look at the back here, I think you connect up to 3 of them per dissolve unit. And then, there's not a lot of info on this. The guy who designed this, he has a blog where he posts this.
How much would a proper system cost back then?
I actually don't know.
Yeah.
But more than just an Apple II Plus.
Yeah.
But eventually, Apple called them and were like, "We don't want you to distribute these anymore," because these were, I don't know if they're more or less legit than the because they have a lot more stickers. If you look at the back of these models, it's bespoke. I just can't quite tell. Even the guy who worked on this, he claims that Apple was with their blessing. They were able to use Apple programming, but eventually, even after they installed 1,000 of those badges, Apple told them to throw them away and stop.
Wow.
He tried to get his money back before the cost of the badges. And it's definitely, supposedly they only made like 50 of them. So
oh wow.
Yeah. So
50?
like,
wow.
Yeah, I've only seen maybe 3 others that anybody else had. Then there was a guy on Reddit who found one on Facebook Marketplace 2 years ago or so, or no, about a year ago. He wanted to give it to another company that sold to another collector who would be able to show it off. And I'd always wondered, as soon as I found out about these collections, I was like, nobody did. I put it up on Reddit about a year ago. Nobody was interested. I put it up 4 months ago. And then I just, on a whim, like 3 weeks ago, searched for it, so if anybody who got one. That came up, messaged them on Reddit and say, hey, you get any of these have it? I got an offer, but I'm trying to get it to somebody who, be able to use it. I so happen to have a table of Apple IIs that I'm exhibiting at in like 2 weeks to work out a deal. And then this came literally yesterday. I had a 2-day.
That's pretty amazing.
But I'm excited to, I haven't had a chance to clean it off yet, but I'm happy it's here.
So what do you do with your stuff, like, when you're not exhibiting it like this?
You know, I was like, both like the evolution of hardware and the software, as far as to see, like for instance, that's a really early Apple II, like a 28849, and it has a Datadex keyboard, so it feels, the key switches feel different. It boots up, has the so when you boot up, you get a bunch of garbage on the screen, and then your machine you know, have like Control B.
It does feel different.
Basic. You know, it's just image basic, so it has a different like cursor. It's just like you have to do so much more. I like keeping things in their era. You know, unfortunately, the original version I haven't swapped out for Apple II Plus.
The tablet, which
one? Stored up, or do you have them like your mount?
What software is the tablet? What did you have to use to drive this thing?
We'll see. It can hook up to. There's a couple of programs.
A few things that will work with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some copies for it. But I was planning on hooking up to this Apple IIg or 2 Plus. This has the first
first monitor that Apple made, Monitor 3. They call it Monitor 3 because it's the first
Yeah.
monitor they put out. And the second monitor they put out, they call it Monitor 2. I guess because this is made for the Apple 3 network.
Oh, right. So could you draw freeform, or did you have to do plotter style?
No, I think you can draw freeform.
You could, okay.
Yeah, and you can trace things, because it has just...
Overlay? Like the Wacom stuff did?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And
Cool.
this is a 4-color Apple color plotter, so it's able to swap between these 4 heads. Here.
Oh, I see, okay.
And what's great about these is that they're oil-based, so they haven't dried out after 40 years.
Oh, nice. What do they call the model? What's it actually called?
Apple Color Plotter 410.
Oh, okay.
Which there was no other models ever. I don't know why they called it 410. Maybe because they just rebranded it.
Doesn't even say the name on it. It's weird.
No, I don't think so. In the back here they have.
Yeah.
They don't even have the name of it here, but yeah, it's the Apple Color Plotter.
I like it says giant letters, graphics tablet. In case you didn't know, right?
1979. This was.
Is it really? Shit.
And then this came out in like 80 something, or maybe 80.
Wow.
I'll get it all working. This has a card, so it has like 3 things to make it work.
Okay.
The tablet, the pen, and the card.
Because they weren't known for their paint programs, if I remember correctly, right? I mean, so it was like a third-party thing?
No, I think it was custom
Apple?
stuff.
Really? Okay.
I'll have it all open. It's all
Yeah.
disc. I don't know if they license it to anybody else in this modified it, but
So it'd be like,
at least these Apples.
like Mac Paint, kind of? Yeah, pretty rudimentary.
Just like one color. I mean, you can select. There's different overlays, and some of them have like color select. This one just has like these
Right.
different commands, but you can like tap on them and then do.
That's pretty advanced for the time. Shit. I mean, Wacom didn't have one with smart buttons for several iterations. So, yeah. And it's just, is like a button on it, so you touch and then hit a button, or?
Yeah, this depresses there.
It does depress,
And then,
okay.
there's basically like crisscross capacitive.
Sure. Yeah. Nice. Great collection.
It all working. It did work.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this. This is crazy.
This is real weird, but I'm so it's wild to see here.
Have you seen it in action anywhere? Does anyone have it working? Okay.
I've never seen it, except for like a couple of screenshots from the original Conputer.
Yeah.
Who like helped make it and some presentations and other media.
That's nuts.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'd love to actually make it work with Slack.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, man. All right, I think I got to check in with Eddie because I told him I'd join the Guitar 6 oscillators thing today, and I don't want to be late. So we'll walk around a little bit more on the periphery here. Doing some close-up inspection work on some parts. Wow, look at that. Macintosh TX. Never seen one of those either. Very nice. And this is a 650 Quadra. Yeah, so I have an 840 AV Quadra. It's pretty nice too, though. All right, cool. I'll check the middle section out later. Let me drop off for a bit, everybody. Whoever's watching, thanks for hanging out. And more stuff to see later. And I'll catch you soon. Come back for your Geek On. See ya.